Get ready for the show, it's about to begin. Pro fan talk when we dive right in. Sports talk, hot takes, ain't nothing we lack. We the real fans, nothing holding us back. Mic check, 1, 2, y'all know the drill. We bringing the energy, we keep it real. Touchdowns on liquid air, on the slam dunks on the court. Every sport, every game, we holding down the fort. We breaking down the plays, dissecting the stats. Pro fan talk, we keeping it fat. Debating with passion, no filter, no doubt. We the voice of the fans, we scream and we shout.
What's going on, folks? What is happening? What is up? What's good with you? All that kind of good stuff. Happy Monday to you. We are here with another one. Got a lot of WNBA action. Got a lot of NFL action. Camp has started in earnest. I think the word came out today that tomorrow the fellas will be putting the pads on, and it's about to go down, like Kevin Hart would say. And what's up to everybody? Cody K, first out the limo. Quentin, Nana, Alex, Carlos, what's good with you? Man, listen. They almost had me crashing out today. You hear me? All these idiots in this Cam versus Jalen debate. I was like, I got to get this off. Because they getting on my nervous system right now. As me and my twin would say, they getting on my reserve nerve. And first you got Cam. As good as Cam was, we all know what Cam was. Got to the big game, did not have a great performance, never got back. Never got back. And they would have been quick to say that about Jalen Hurts. Got to the big game, had a great performance. And he did get back and made the most of that second opportunity by being the Super Bowl champion and MVP. Now things have gotten personal. Asante Samuel is getting involved. Unk and Ocho are getting involved. Ryan Clark is getting involved. You know, anytime Ryan Clark get involved with it, it's going to be a problem. Somebody going to have something to say. So, and it seems like most of these arguments come from a place of everybody's used to seeing a quarterback in a specific light who plays a specific way. If I remember correctly, when Cam did what he did that year and took Carolina to the Super Bowl, made them 15-1, and he was the league MVP, rightfully so. Even then, they said he wouldn't be able to win the big one with his play style. And again, he went up against the best of the best. He went up against Peyton Manning. So, yo, Carlos, we'll get into that in a minute, man. I saw Gilly. Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, Gilly went next level on him. He went next level on him. So, Alex, I'm doing pretty good, bro. It's all good. Nina, good evening. Chris, 100% in a nutshell. That's it. That encompasses this whole conversation. That comment right there. Everybody better than Jalen Hurts until it's time to be better than Jalen Hurts. It's good until it isn't. Cam Newton, as good as Cam was, and let's make no mistake, I don't want people to get it misconstrued. I don't want people to get it twisted. I don't want people to get it wrong at all. What Cam did that year was phenomenal. Phenomenal. You took the Carolina Panthers 15-1, and you took them to the Super Bowl. But like I just said, it was good until it wasn't, because once you got there, you couldn't get over the top. Everybody's got their reasonings. Everybody's got what went wrong, blah, blah, blah. At this point, it's water under the dam. But at the end of the day, you did not get it done. And that is what people are going to remember you by. You even said it yourself. Why people bringing up me not jumping on the fumble? Because that's what people remember. You not jumping on the fumble. Be it right or wrong. You can't tell people what to think, what they should or shouldn't remember. You can't tell people what their perspective should be, what their opinion should be. They're going to watch it for themselves, and they're going to come up with their own opinion. And that's what they did. You can't get mad at them for that. You might not agree with it. You might not like it, but you can't get mad at them. You know why? Because if you go back, even today, if you go back and watch that Super Bowl, you're going to be like, oh, bruh, what happened? What happened to the Superman? Clark Kent showed up for this game. Not enough. Not enough. And then you got people, they look at Jalen and they say, well, if such and such had a stacked team like that, anybody can win. Nah. I beg to differ. It is supremely difficult for everybody to be on the same page, everybody to be working the way they're supposed to be working, and all things are clicking. That doesn't happen a lot. You look at a lot of the great Super Bowls, and how the games turned out. Even some of Tom Brady's wins, he had to come from behind. You saw what happened in Atlanta. Atlanta jumped out to a 3-score lead in the first half, and they thought the Patriots was toast, but they had to battle back. So it wasn't always rainbows and roses for the Patriots either. And I don't like saying that because I wasn't crazy about the Patriots. But let me tell you why at least I had respect for the Patriots, because I'm old enough to remember when the Patriots were hot garbage. I remember that. Where the Patriots weren't winning anything. Patriots was in that same realm like the Bengals were. You couldn't even say really the Bengals were, because when I was in high school, that was the Ickey Woods time. The Bengals went to the Super Bowl twice. And we lost to Joe Montana both times. So you can't even, a lot of times it's the aura of what people think it is, but it's not actually what it is. But I digress. Let me get back to Cam. And the reason why people, I guess, let me just state this, by all of this falls under the umbrella of my opinion. The reason why everybody's catching the flame to Cam is because he flip-flops so much. Jalen is the game manager. Jalen is this. You're not going to win this way, this, that, and the third. He said that. Then Jalen wins the Super Bowl and becomes the MVP. Then he comes back with, boy, was I wrong. And Jalen is just, he does what he does to win, and he kind of rectifies it and makes it right. Then he flip-flops again. Well, he wouldn't be in my top 10. Okay. And then when everybody hits him with the receipts, he act like, I try to keep it a buck and I tell it like it is. And why is everybody coming for me and bringing up personal stuff? You jumping on a fumble is not personal. That happened. That's a game observation. That ain't personal. Now, if you want to get into your beef with Ryan Clark and all that kind of stuff, that just comes from you didn't like it because he said it. But at the end of the day, the game you had in the Super Bowl against Peyton Manning was trash. 18 for 41 with 3 turnovers, a pick, and 2 fumbles. You gave the ball up 3 times. 2 fumbles, you lost both of them. So it wasn't your best game. That's not That's not a personal attack. That's film study. And you can't say your team didn't show up because your defense basically shut Peyton Manning down. That Carolina defense was pretty damn good. So you had a defense. You had Greg Olsen on offense. I believe Steve Smith was on that squad. Let's see. Or no, not Steve Smith, Ted Ginn Jr. So you had some weapons. You had Ted Ginn Jr., Greg Olsen. It looks like Smith was in Baltimore by this time. So I'll give you Ted Ginn Jr. I give Greg Olsen. The rest of them, Devin Funches, Jericho Cotchery, Fozzie Whitaker, Mike Tolbert. But your defense held Peyton Manning, one of the best ever, Hall of Fame, 18-23 for 141 yards. No touchdowns and a pick. Your defense did what it was supposed to do. Peyton Manning's quarterback rating was 56.6. Cam's was 55.4. The Carolina defense did what they were supposed to do against Peyton Manning. Cam Newton just didn't have a good game. Cam Newton, 18 for 41, 265 yards. He threw the ball relatively well, but he turned the ball over. 6 sacks for 64 yards. He 6 sacks. He was sacked 6 times. Just not a good day for the offense. But that starts at the top. That starts with Cam. And then you got these knuckleheads on my timeline. Lord have mercy. Talking all that yak. Let me find it. Hold on. This dude put this. I don't know who Xerxes is. Talking about Jalen Hurts ain't doing some shit like this in his life. Screw a tush push. This is how real quarterbacks get that first down on a run. And he gonna really act like Jalen Hurts ain't never have to run anybody over or run through linebackers and defenders to get a first down or to score. I believe Jalen's got 2 or 3 plays like that where he had to run through tackles to get the first down or to score. So stop it. Stop it with that. Take off your cam colored glasses. And people really have to, it's to the point now where you gotta lay your ground rules. It's almost like having a video game. Remember your video games back in the day that would come with that little booklet of instructions? Did anybody actually read the book? No, they never read the book until you got to a point where you had to figure out some button combination to get a special attack or something. Like, well, how do you do this? How do I beat this boss? Wait a minute. Go back to page 16 in the book. There you go. You got to push A, B, up and down with fire button at the same time. You had to go back into the book. Does this dude really think that we can't go back and pull receipts of Jalen Hurts doing the same damn thing he got Cam Newton doing in this clip? Stop it. Jalen Hurts was throwing dimes. Jalen Hurts was running through tackles. Jalen Hurts was getting first downs. And guess what? I'll give it to you. I'll take the tush pushes out. That's the only, and let's keep it a buck, because y'all know me. I'll keep it real. I'll keep it 100. I'll give it to Cam Newton. Cam Newton is probably the best rushing quarterback that I've seen, because it wouldn't be this close comparison if you took the pushes away. If you took the shoves away, Jalen wouldn't have as many rushing touchdowns as he has. Saquon would have had probably broke the record for touchdowns in the season if you could give those 1 and 2 yard touchdown runs to Saquon or the other running backs, Kenny Gainwell or something like that. So I'll give you that. That's fair. That's a legit criticism, because that play, if Cam Newton would have had a tush push back then, Lord have mercy. They would have put Greg Olsen in the backfield, line up behind him, and just push him over the 1 or 2 yards or whatever you needed to get. I can see that happening. So I'll give you the pushes. I'll give you that Cam Newton was probably a better running quarterback than Jalen Hurts. But don't sit here and act like Jalen Hurts is just, chopped liver running the ball. Jalen Hurts has ran over some folks. Jalen Hurts has broken some ankles. I still remember that play against the Saints in 22. That's the game where Jalen solidified himself as the Eagles' #1 starter. And he put his foot in the dirt and cut it back on that Saints defensive end. And you heard the whole stadium go, ooh. Broke that dude's ankle. And it was like, that's the guy right there. That's the guy. So the one thing that I can say about Jalen Hurts, and again, I'll give Cam the rushing touchdowns. If he'd have had a tush push, he would have had more. That's fair. But it ain't been too many quarterbacks that I can think of that's been through the ringer like Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is on his 13th offensive coordinator, 13th offensive coach since starting in college. 13. And he still got it done. Still got it done. Not to mention, what did everybody say after we lost in 22? It is so hard to get back after you lose. So hard to get back after you lose. Cam never got back. Matter of fact, did he even get close to getting back? Did he even get close to getting back to the Super Bowl? I'm not even sure. This just shows stats. I might have to look at the team records. But I'm not sure. I believe he made the playoffs again, but that's a good question. But even just comparing the stats, man, come on, man. I know y'all, you got your Cam aficionados, but let's keep it a buck, man. If we gonna look at everything and keep it similar, the stats are very close. So if all things being equal, I'm gonna take the guy that got it done in the biggest of big games. And not only did he get it done, my guy, QB1, Jalen Hurts season, anything else you want to call him, he beat the best of the best twice. Outplayed him twice. Peyton Manning didn't even have a good game in the Super Bowl, and you still couldn't get it done. Jalen Hurts outplayed Patrick Mahomes in the first Super Bowl. Defense let us down, bad call by the refs, whatever you want to call it. They got the dub in the discussion. Jalen Hurts is walking off the field in the gold and red confetti falling down. Iconic picture. Juxtapose that with the new one, with the trophy, or the one with him sitting in the locker room on the floor smoking a cigar, just taking a moment. Got back, got the dub. And what I was saying was, I think we're in a situation where everybody wants to put quarterbacks in a box. And I think people should have to put out what are your prerequisites to be in your top list? There are no wrong answers, but I just want to know, what are your prerequisites? Because it seems to me that most of these prerequisites fall in the line of the optics of it. Do you Check off all the boxes. Are you 6'3", 6'4"? Check. Do you have a live? Do you have a live arm? Can you throw it 80 yards in the air? Check. Did you throw for 4,500 yards last year? Check. They got certain things that they're looking for, and this is the thing that everybody wants to argue about: is winning a quarterback stats. Absolutely. Absolutely. How many look across the league? Look at Anthony Richardson, look at Josh Allen, look at Lamar. You pick your quarterback. Look at T. Law down in Jacksonville. Look at Justin Herbert. You look at all of those quarterbacks that have all of the check boxes checked. They pass all of the optic tests. How many of them got rings? Maybe one. Stafford. Jared Goff. Props to Jared Goff, because he went to the Super Bowl with Detroit before they got good. Before they got, I believe, was Dan Campbell there when Jared Goff went to the Super Bowl? I can't remember. But Jared Goff did that. And he did it with he couldn't get over the hump. And how come that there's not as much weight for that? And everybody's giving Jalen crap because he had a great team, because he had Saquon, and everybody's coming up with an excuse. And I'm like, hey, excuse me. I got a question. I got my hand up, got a question. John Elway went to 5 Super Bowls. 5. How many did he win? 2. Why did he win those 2? Somebody named Terrell Davis. Terrell Davis, the 2,000-yard rusher, Super Bowl MVP. That dude. He didn't win until Terrell Davis got there. 5 Super Bowls. Couldn't get over the hump. You get a running game, now everything changes. How come it's all right when he does it, but everybody got a problem when we do it? Get out of here with that nonsense, man. Fuck out of here. I ain't trying to hear that. I ain't trying to hear that. You win the game however it takes for you to win the game. I'm sorry if you don't throw for 300. I'm sorry if you don't throw for 400. We got it done. Even if you want to look at Nick Foles, look at Nick Foles. You know why Nick Foles is so great? Because Tom Brady, the GOAT. I mean, personally, I would still take Montana, but that's just me. Tom Brady threw for over 500 yards in that Super Bowl. So what that means is we took the best shot that he could give us. Tom Brady balled out in that Super Bowl, and we still beat him. Nick Foles went toe-to-toe and came out on top. Nick Foles was throwing dimes in that Super Bowl. Chris, didn't he? I could have swore that. I got to look that up. I could have swore Goff went to. Did he go deep in the playoffs? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Good catch if I'm wrong. I don't doubt you. But I could have swore that Jared Goff, or maybe I'm thinking backwards. He went, yes, I think I'm thinking backwards. He went to the Super Bowl with the Rams and lost. And then he got Detroit to, they lost the conference. Is that right? NFC title game. Thank you. I'm thinking backwards. You are correct, sir. You are correct. But everybody, I don't. Stizzy got a good point here. Remember, Coach, Cam was Superman all to his demise. He was all about himself, from stats to touchdown celebrations to his MVP. Cam is the most physically imposing quarterback of all time and did not get it done. That part. Thank you, Stizzy. That part. How much credit do you get for not getting it done? How much credit do you get for getting it done, getting over the hump after they said you would never get it back because you lost the first time you was in the big game? People still think Jalen lost that first Super Bowl. If he hadn't fumbled, while I don't disagree, I think the more egregious error was that punt return. I think that hurt us more than the fumble did, but everybody got their opinion. But yeah, and that's why Stizzy, I don't know if you heard this when I started out. Let it be no misunderstanding how big, how good Cam was. And that just makes that fall that much farther. That fall from the top, because he was the MVP of the league. He had a legitimate shot to take Carolina undefeated. Couldn't get it done. Couldn't get it done. So, you know, it is what it is. It was good until it wasn't. But our guy got it done. Despite not being a good passer, despite not being able to read defenses and all the other crap that they made up. It is what it is. We had a guy that found a way to win. And they hate on us every chance they get. So if y'all want to, like I said in my post, man, if y'all was reading my posts, y'all gonna crack up. Because that dude Zerksky, I was just giving it to him, and I was like, yeah, Cam is better. You win. You win. Cam is better. Cam is a better quarterback. And then I'll put this picture up there. You win, man. Cam is a better quarterback. Just a reminder, Cam is a better quarterback. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Uh-oh. What's going on here? Why is my hold on. That's why. What is going on? There we go. Now we got it. So yeah, man. Zerksy. Cam is a better quarterback, bro. You win it. I can't hear you because my ring is shining too loudly. It's drowning out all the noise from the outside. I can't hear you. The wings just popped out on my Super Bowl ring. I can't hear you. They flapping too loudly. They popping. They blinging too much. I can't hear you. I can't hear all this noise from the side, man. Stop it. Stop moving the goalposts. Just stop it. That's the one brilliant thing that I love about the Eagles this year. They done told you right off the bat, right from the rip, we are not defending champions. And I agree. You can't defend something that's already gone. You can't do that. Everybody back in the same spot, starting from square one, trying to get through the season, trying to get to the playoffs. Ain't nobody defending nothing. The crown is up in the air again. This ain't boxing. So I think they took the right attitude. Like, hey, that's over. That's over. Jalen Hurts led the charge. It's nice to look at. Nice to look at the ring. You didn't wear your ring? Nah, I'm over that. I'm over that. AJ Brown said as much at the awards, the ring ceremony. He was like, man, this is nice. We're gonna have to win another one. But heck, a couple days after the Super Bowl, when he penned that, little soliloquy about the journey, already getting back in the mode, already getting back in the mindset. We got to figure out how to run this back and do it again. already started that process. I was a huge fan of Newton. However, in team sports, there are about half a dozen different factors that may. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, dude. At the end of the day, you want somebody. There is there is value in a guy that can lead. You ever notice? Every now and then it doesn't happen, but I would say 99% of the time it does. Anybody that gets drafted, if they are a quarterback and they start early in their career, they automatically put that C on their chest. They automatically put the C on the quarterback. But everybody doesn't deserve it. Should Anthony Richardson be the captain of the team? Mm. And guess what? Anthony Richardson is bigger, stronger, faster, has a liver arm, can throw the ball farther. All of those check boxes he's got over Jalen Hurts. Who's the better quarterback? Who do you want to have the ball with less than a minute left and you got to go 60 yards, 70 yards down the field? Who do you want to have the ball? Do you want it to be Anthony Richardson? Absolutely not. You want Jalen Hurts. Me and Tone talked about this. They're going to load the box to stop Saquon Barkley because everybody thinks that Saquon Barkley is the key to the Eagles winning. And what did they do? They're going to have to make Jalen Hurts beat us in the air. Damn it, what did he do? Y'all wasn't paying attention. Somebody wasn't doing their homework. You mean to tell me you thought so much of Saquon Barkley that you're going to leave A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith one-on-one at the edges? That's what you wanted? That was your game plan? All right. Let's see how that work out for you. Have you been watching film on what A.J. Brown does all year when he's one-on-one? Spagnola, did you think that A.J. Brown was a good receiver? Yes. Okay, so if he's a good receiver, somebody's got to be throwing him the ball. So you mean to tell me Jalen Hurts has been throwing bad balls all season? A.J. Brown just been getting lucky? Devontae Smith has just been getting lucky? You gambled and you lost. You lost because our quarterback was better than you thought he was. Even though you should have learned your lesson. You got lucky the first time. Did you? Nobody watched film. Nobody watched film and figured out what our defense was going to do to that offensive line. That offensive line was Swiss cheese. That offensive line was Swiss cheese all damn season. And y'all thought y'all was just going to automatically, by osmosis, stop Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith? Josh Sweat could have been the MVP of that game. And I wouldn't have been mad. Y'all didn't even do the homework. Y'all knew what kind of situation y'all had. But guess what? Y'all started listening to all them people down there in New Orleans talking that talk like they knew exactly what was going to happen. And knowing good and damn well you got to play the game first. I don't get it. Do your homework. That's why I watch film. I don't have to convince you. If you don't like Jalen Hurts, if you think Cam is better, you roll with that. You got it. Cam is better. I'm not going to convince you otherwise. All you did was just see my man be the Super Bowl MVP. But if you want to take Cam, if Cam is better, you go ahead with that. How many rings he got? How many rings Carolina got? And I'm saying that because I remember all of them times. I remember when I was playing with the Eagles, and every now and then we get a win against the Cowboys. And what's the first thing Cowboys fans would say? If you were OG Eagles fan from back in the 90s, you know exactly where I'm going. If you watched Randall Cunningham play, you know exactly where I'm going. Them times we would beat the Cowboys, we would have some knockdown, drag out fights too. And what would they always say? Yeah, you got us, but let me know when you win a Super Bowl. Let me know when you get to the playoffs. How many rings you got? We had to hear that shit for decades. The championships that you won before the Super Bowl don't count. Technically, we got five. But they don't want to count the ones before it was actually called the Super Bowl. They don't want to do that. That only counts if you Green Bay, right? One of the iconic teams or something like that. How long did we have to hear that nonsense? Because every chance somebody had, a non-Eagles fan, Cowboys fans, Giants fans, Redskins fans, every chance y'all had to remind us that we didn't have any rings, you took it. You took that opportunity to let us know. Yeah, you might have got us, but y'all ain't got no rings, so we don't want to hear from you. We only talking to people that got championships. All of that rhetoric, all of them years, you got it off. And the bad part about it was it wasn't too much we could say. Facts is facts. Oh, but now we got a couple. Now we got a couple, and don't nobody want to talk to us now. Now you don't flip the script. Now that it's not important. Get out of here, man. Get out of here. I do want to play this clip though, because this encapsulates. Shout out to Bubba Wallace winning the Brickyard. I don't know if anybody's a NASCAR fan, but I am. Is he the first black man to win the Brickyard? I believe he is. Let me see. There's my little grand. Boy, look at that face. He's so cute. I know I put it on here. Hold on. I thought I shared it. There we go. This right here. Another one of them things that Jalen Hurts ain't gonna be doing. Cam was so pissed off, he ain't even want to answer questions in the post game after the Super Bowl. Your character matters. I know you can be a sore loser, but you still got to be a pro. And sometimes you got to answer them hard questions. And just because you got your ass whooped, now you don't want to answer no questions. So guess what? That wasn't a good look. Made you look like a baby. And you was angry about losing. And you walked off stage. Our guy didn't do that. Our guy took the brunt, answered everybody's questions, and came back stronger and got us back to the game and won it. Not only did we win it, we whooped their ass. They still feeling that ass whooping. That was one of them grandmama ass whoopings. Go outside and give me a switch. And don't come in with none of them thick ones. We got with them. And nobody thought we could do it. Nobody did. They just thought Kansas City was going to win by osmosis. They just supposed to win because they got Patrick Mahomes over there. Y'all didn't bother to look at the offensive line. Y'all bad. That was on y'all. Y'all mistake. I don't know why you kept doing that when Tooney was a turnstile. Not Tooney, but what's his name? Caliendo? Nah. And y'all knew it was coming, but y'all kept, Patrick Mahomes is going to take us over the top. Like, Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback. You got to have an offensive line, bro. Nah. So it was, what's going on, Heather? It was crazy. Yeah. Tiff, I remember that. See, when it's the team everybody's looking for, when it's the team everybody got the money on, it's look at the confidence of them. They're ready to play. They've been here before. All of that type of stuff. If you don't like the team, if you don't like the players, well, then now they're cocky. They don't understand what's about to happen. They're not ready. They're not ready to play. They're doing too much in the media. They got every excuse in the book, and they move the goalposts. They move the goalposts. Y'all go ahead and move them. The ring still came to Novacare. They were, hey, Shay Sean. They wasn't ready, man. They wasn't ready. But guess what? Um, we whooped that ass anyways. Because that's the way it go. Where is my hold on for a second. There we go. I gotta rock my wings for a minute. That's what I wanted. I'm feeling myself. So let me rock my wings for a minute. Let me pop them rings out. Pop the wings from the rings when everybody talking smack. Everybody's talking smack. But guess what? Even what I'm saying, like the stuff that I say when I be doing the WNBA stuff, what do I say? It's going to play itself out one way or the other, right? I got that from football. I got that from football. I don't want to hear nothing about how good the Eagles are, how good anybody else is, what they're doing. I put a thing out. Where did they go? I put out a new rule. Where's it at? Where's it at? Hold on, I'm gonna find it. Where is it at? Where is it at? There we go. New rule. New rule. No one is throwing dimes during the first week of training camp against rooks and no pads. Pump the brakes on the too much stuff. Like chill with it. They figuring things out. This is the time to get beat. This is the time to make mistakes. This is what you do in camp. You're learning. A lot of those guys out there, especially the young guys, they're still thinking. And when you're thinking, you're slow on the field because you're thinking. When you can act on instinct and still get to the right place and make the play, that's when you're doing something. When you already know, you don't have to think about it. You just know where you're supposed to be on this coverage, on this blitz. You know when this man comes in motion. You know who you got. You know when to drop back. You know when to come to the line of scrimmage. You got all of that. That's what they're doing in camp. They are trying to hone in and tighten it, focus to a degree where you already know what you're supposed to be doing before it happens. I just played the clip. I was looking at Tom Brady. He was down there in New Orleans with Colin Cowherd, and Tom Brady was talking about what his superpower was. And he was saying that his superpower was he was so prepared that he knew what everybody was doing before they snapped the ball. He just knew it. That was his superpower. That was what he was good at. It wasn't because he was faster or he had the best arm. It was because he knew what the defenses were bringing. And he could adjust. We getting that type of talk from Jalen. We getting that type of play from Jalen. And on top of that, he got everybody on the team pointing in the right direction. There's no misunderstandings. There's no QB battles. There's none of that. If something happens to Jalen, the backup comes in. But when Jalen is healthy, guess what? There is no question. There is no question who QB1 is. Everybody doesn't have that. Look at what's going on up in Cleveland. Shador Sanders is lighting them up. But, well, okay. But y'all going to go with a 41-year-old Joe Flacco? You good with that? You sure about that? Craziness. But people do it all the time, man. Listen, y'all will hear me say this time and time again. Just because they think they're the smartest people in the room doesn't mean they are. Just because everybody says it doesn't mean that they are. I just saw today that Treylon Burks got cut. The dude that they traded A.J. Brown for. He just got cut. That was the biggest fleece in NFL history. The value of what you're looking for, you got to do your homework. You got to do your homework. I think I think I think Howie Roseman. What's the isn't there an object in Dungeons and Dragons? I saw that. I think I saw this on Critical Role. Isn't there an object in Dungeons and Dragons where it's like a silver tongue, and it makes everything you say, everybody has to either believe it or do what you say. That's what Howie Roseman's got. He's got that silver tongue power. Whatever he says on the phone, they got to do it because that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. None. And he did it. He did it. And I remember the coach was feeling some kind of way. He didn't want to make that happen, but everybody got a boss, and the GM pulled the trigger, and they lost their best receiver, and they ain't been the same since. But the funny part is, and I say this about even that move with AJ Brown, as asinine as it was, you look at some of the draft picks. You look at some of the moves and the decisions that some of these teams have made. And what gets me is that there was a group of men who are getting paid an exorbitant amount of money to be the smartest people in the room. And they all gathered around and sat at a table, and they made a decision to draft this player or draft that player or cut this player, cut that player. We're going to trade for this person and get rid of the. They sat around a room and made these decisions. And some of those decisions, we as fans are looking at them like, what the hell were you thinking? Makes no sense. Just because they got that salary, just because they are in that office, doesn't mean they belong there. There are plenty of GMs, plenty of VPs, plenty of owners, Jerry, who was screwing shit up. In my opinion, the Cowboys would be in much better hands with Stephen Jones rather than Jerry Jones. My opinion. I'm not a Cowboys fan, but it's easy to see. He makes it easy to see. I met Jeffrey Lurie in 1994 shortly after he had bought the team at a preseason game. And I've told this story before. I didn't play much in this particular game. I was a second-year vet. And maybe this is the first, maybe second preseason game. And I come in the locker room. Jeffrey Lurie is in the front of the locker room as we are coming through the doors, through that tunnel in the vet. Coming in the locker room, Jeffrey Lurie was standing right there, and he shook everybody's hand. And he called me by name. Great job today, Marcus. Great job. Shook my hand, and the next guy was coming behind me. And that's the reason why I say it like that, is because there was no reason, no earthly reason whatsoever, that Jeffrey Lurie should have known who I was, him being the owner. I was one of them rookies that was sitting on the sidelines because I was playing behind Herschel and James Joseph, so I didn't get much clock my rookie year. I didn't get any clock my rookie year. I'm sitting behind Herschel Walker watching like everybody else. But for him to know who I was told me a lot about him. That's the first impression he made on me. At least he knew my name. I've had a thing about names ever since that, because as I've gotten older, my short-term memory is hot garbage. If I meet you for the first time, you better tell me your name like 3 or 4 times, or I got to write it down. I'm bad like that. But like when I'm on the chat or when I'm on social media answering stuff or answering the comments, I am big on, if you see me and I say somebody's name incorrectly or wrong, or I spell somebody's name wrong, let me know. I got a thing with names. My name is Marcus with a K. Don't spell my name with a C. That's not me. Markus. I got to think about that. And I'm saying all that to say stuff like that matters because there was no reason he should have known who I was, but he took the time. He took the time. We were in the vet. I didn't even get a rookie picture my rookie year. Norman Brayman took the mug shots from camp, put them all together on the page, and that was our team picture. I didn't get to put my uniform on, go in the stands, and take a couple solo shots with my uni on. We didn't even get to do that. That's how cheap Brayman was. Paying for extra socks. I get cut. I can't keep my helmet. Can't keep my jersey. Stuff like that. It was crazy stuff. But when you had somebody like Jeffrey Lurie comes in, wants to turn the culture around, wants to turn the team around, and now look what we got now. We got a nerve to be talking about another stadium. I was feeling some kind of way when they blew up the link. Not the link, but when they blew up the vet. Because that's where I played. That's where I, cut my teeth at the vet. And they blew it up. And now it's a parking lot for Citizens Bank. But you understand my nostalgia. At Jeffrey Lurie, when you look at the link, when you look at the stadium now, when you look at the Eagles as an organization, being a destination organization, and I can think back to where we started from when he first bought the team. And then I juxtapose that with somebody like Jerry Jones. You juxtapose that with what's going on in Indianapolis. You look at all of these other teams down the stuff that happened in Denver, and now the Saints. Look at what's going on in Vegas. Vegas ain't been right since they left Oakland. So I say it with pride what Jeffrey has done and what Jeffrey has brought the organization to. Now he's taking his lumps. Chip Kelly. But we've come out on the other side, and we've come out the other side with 2 rings, y'all. 2 rings. Let me show y'all something real quick. Let me see. Hold on. I got to type it up before I show it because y'all gonna get a laugh out of this. Hold on. Okay, hold on. I want to show y'all something. Hold on. I had to do this. And this is where I, again, my affinity for Jeffrey Lurie, the things that he's done for this organization. Do y'all see these cell phones? See these cell phones? Those were the top phones the last time the Cowboys won a championship. These were the phones in 96, the last time the Cowboys won a championship. I had to do it. I had to do it. I remember those days. And I'll go back to that point again that I made earlier. Yeah, Alex, I had to laugh out loud, man. Had to laugh out loud, bro. Talk about vintage. Oh, my God. Oh, my goodness. Windows 95 had just been invented. Oh Oh my God, that's funny. That's funny. And let me be honest with you. I don't have no problem clowning on the Cowboys. And I'll say it again. I remember all them times. I remember all them times that you getting arguments with Cowboys fans, and they would always drop the mic with talk to me when you get some rings. I remember that very vividly. And they would never let up. Ever. They would never let up about it. And it wasn't shit that you could say. That's what made it so frustrated. And now we having our turn. Now it's our turn. Don't leave mad, just leave. Because now it's our turn and we're going to talk cash shit. It is our turn to talk that trash. And we've been backing it up. We've been the best team in the NFC for the next couple years. And now we got some kid from up in New York that the Giants wanted to get rid of because they thought he was injury prone. And what does he do? Go for 2,000 yards. It's amazing what you can do when you give people a proper opportunity and put the tools in their hands, and that's what we've been doing. We got two of the best coaches in the league in Vic Fangio and Jeff Stoutland. Jeff Stoutland is unquestionably the best offensive line coach in the NFL. I would even go as far as say history. Jeff Stoutland is one of one. To me, Vic Fangio is an extremely good defensive coordinator. Jeff Stoutland is a Hall of Fame offensive line coach. And the proof is in the pudding. And now we got a situation where the team, the GM, the owner, they all understand what kind of offensive line we got. And they put a back there and they ran them like we got the best offensive line in football. It's not rocket science, people. It's not. Look at the team you got. Know your personnel and then operate within that personnel. That's what they did. And that's what we whooped up on everybody this year. We took our lumps. That's the way it's supposed to go. You take your lumps and you come out better on the other side. We came out the best on the other side. We had the ultimate ending. And now everybody mad at us? Get the hell out of here, man. I ain't trying to hear y'all. I ain't trying to hear y'all. If you're going to be mad, you be mad by yourself. I ain't trying to hear it. We had our time. Y'all talked y'all trash, and we couldn't say nothing. Now you want us to shut up. Man, listen. Y'all better start playing with me. But I'm dropping the link, man. I know y'all got some stuff to say. I'm dropping the link. I want to hear from y'all. It's crazy. Jalen was drafted. He just went in the second round. Jalen was supposed to be a backup quarterback. Jalen wasn't ever supposed to start. But they tell a story. Devontae Smith told a story. Soon as they saw Jalen Hurts in camp, they knew he was special. They knew he was special. I told y'all the other day. Did I say this with Tone or did I say this? I can't remember. But I was talking about that moment in the Super Bowl when Devontae Smith went to Jalen Hurts and was like, hey, man, I love you. And you could tell his voice was cracking. He was emotional. And he understood the importance and the weight of that moment. And they had the embrace and they said words to each other like, you don't do that unless you've been through some shit. All of those conversations, all of that strife that happens during the season that doesn't make it it doesn't make it on WIP or 97.5. That means something. You can only say that if you've been through some shit. And you came out on the other side at the ultimate ending. And now we reloaded and got a legitimate shot to run it back. Quentin, I was Jerome Brown passed away the summer before I got to camp. I remember because his family came up to camp and we had like a little thing, and his widow spoke, said some things about him because that happened. That was still kind of fresh in the vets' minds when we were in camp. So I wasn't a part of that. I didn't play with Reggie White. I didn't play. The Jerome Brown tragedy had happened like the year before I got there, but it was still tangible, like on everybody's mind. I do remember that. So I was, Randall was my quarterback. That's right. I forgot about that, Candy. Yep. 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 Everybody know everybody. That's why it's so hard. I mean, and like, let me say it like this. Like I don't like the Cowboys. I hate the Cowboys. I hate the Cowboys because I'm an Eagle. I'm a former Eagle. But the reality is, one of my high school teammates played for the Cowboys. So I can't hate the Cowboys. I grew up in the 70s. I was a kid in the 70s. Tony Dorsett. So I don't really hate the Cowboys. I hate what they become. And even though the 90s was their decade and they were just whooping everybody's ass in the 90s, they were that good, period. So it was a respect factor. And then more and more people started drinking the Kool-Aid. And the Dallas Cowboys became what the Chicago Bulls were back in the day. If you didn't know much about basketball, if you didn't know much about hoop, and you every now and then you watch the NBA, who's your favorite team? The Bulls, Michael Jordan. That was the answer to everything. If you was a fair weather fan or a bandwagon fan, everybody followed Michael Jordan. That's what the Cowboys became. People were jumping into watching football for whatever reason. I'll just be a Cowboys fan because you can find their merch everywhere. That's the one thing Jerry Jones knows how to do is market. His marketing skills are off the charts. His promotion skills are off the charts. That's why the Cowboys and that star is the brand that it is today, even though they haven't won nothing in 30 years. You probably still got more Cowboys fans than anybody else because they captured that market when the video, when the social media, when that stuff was formulating during the 90s. All the technology that was the catalyst for what is now social media and all this kind of stuff. All that stuff started in the 90s. And that's when the Cowboys was hot. But they don't have any growth. We do. We do. So, but I had to get up. I had to get this stuff off my chest tonight, man. That was bugging me. That dude, usually I don't go at guys like that too tough, but that dude was irking me today. Xerxes, whatever his name was. And I posted his stuff. Xerxes. Yeah. And this is my thing now. I post a picture of the ring. Shining my ring, man. Don't get mad. Don't leave mad, just leave. While I'm shining my ring, I ain't trying to hear it. Here's my rule for Dallas fans. Because like I said, I was a Tony Dorsett fan when I was a kid. I had one of the guys in my high school played for the Cowboys. Here's my rule for Cowboys fans. And these specifically are the Cowboys fans that, talk the most shit about they being the better team and all of that type of stuff. If you never had a chance to see Troy Aikman play in person, I don't want to hear from you. If you had an opportunity to see Troy Aikman play and Michael Irvin and Emmitt Smith and Larry Allen, if you got a chance to see that group play ball, that was a thing of wonder. Because as much as you hated the Cowboys, they were that good. Larry Allen was that good. Troy Aikman was that good. Michael Irvin was that dude. He was that good. Emmitt Smith, not the fastest, not the biggest, not the strongest, but for some reason you couldn't stop the dude. Couldn't stop him. They were that good. The coach bailed on him. Jimmy Johnson, him and Jerry Jones couldn't get along, and he walked, and they hired Barry Switzer from Oklahoma, and he takes them to the Super Bowl again. They were that good. So you got to give them props. So if you saw them play, Cowboys fans, if you actually saw them play back in the day, talk your talk. Because you were OG. Talk your talk. But all of these new fans, y'all had no parts in those championships. I don't want to hear from you. If you under 36 years old, it's been 36 years now since the Cowboys have done anything. If you 36 or younger, I ain't trying to hear you. You have no skin in this game. Be silent. Grown-ups is talking. I don't want to hear from you. That's my rule. If you are a young fan and you talking shit about the Cowboys, take that somewhere else. Take that somewhere else. You haven't earned it. We are in a good spot. Veterans are trying to come to Philadelphia because they know this is a legitimate opportunity to possibly win a championship. That didn't happen when I was in the vet. We used to get guys from San Francisco and other teams with a history of winning, and they would look around the vet and they were like, ooh, what is this place? But now it's our turn. Now it's our turn. Silence. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. What's up, King DV? Long time no talk to, bro. We need to connect. But yeah, man. Oh, you went Dallas on me, Candy. You went like the Blake Carrington and the what was her name? What was Joan Collins' name on the show? Was it Alexis? I can't remember. Dallas. Who shot JR? Yeah, but you're right. You're right. They was on TV on ESPN all the time. All the time. So they knew what was going on. They knew what was going on. So and again, rightfully so. They were the shit back then. You couldn't say nothing. Couldn't say nothing. That team was that good. And now they're not. So, it is what it is. It's our turn now. So we got a situation where everybody's coming to us. Everybody wants to be with us. Everybody wants to play with us. You got a legitimate, anytime you come to Philadelphia, you got a legitimate opportunity to make it to the playoffs. And once you get to the playoffs, that's when things start showing up, falling into place. All you got to do is get there. Once you get there, everybody's slate is wiped clean. Whatever you did in the regular season don't matter. The only thing that comes into play is injuries. That's the only thing that really comes into play. Everything else, everybody starts from this. Everybody's back in the blocks again. Everybody's back in the blocks again. So, Tiff. Tiff, I hate cut day because I've been through cut day. And I hate to see when players, that's their dream to play in the NFL, and you get that knock on the door and it's like, hey, come to the office and bring your playbook. Then you get promoted to fan. So I look at it from that standpoint, but this is the good thing about the Eagles right now. And Vic Fangio told you as much. Jeff Stoutland has told you as much. They're trying to breed competition. Iron sharpens iron. Iron sharpens iron. So they're trying to get to that place right now where you just continuously reload. You reload the gun. You reload the gun. You don't have to rebuild it. You reload it. And that's what we're doing right now. Who's going to be a safety? Is it Drew Makuba? Is it Sidney Brown? Are they going to move Coop up there? We have those options. We have those options. In the past, it was, you got to draft a good safety. You got to draft another DB. You got to draft another corner. We got plug and play now. And we are a good enough organization where Howie Roseman can go out and pick somebody up, sign somebody that he can plug and play. We are at that point in our existence as a franchise. It's not going to stay here for long because we are up right now. But eventually we're going to come back down. We're going to come back down to earth. But what happens with peaks and valleys, when you peak, when you come back down, whatever that bottom is, you got to look at a series of bottoms. And for the Eagles right now, that bottom is higher than it was a couple of years ago. So that means the team is trending up. So we're in good shape. We are reloading. We are reloading. Everybody can't say that. Yeah, man, full pass tomorrow. But this is what I want you to do. This is what I want you guys to pay attention. Pay attention when we have the joint practice with the Browns. That's what you need to pay attention to. Everybody's going to be excited for full pass day, rightfully so. But you still going against the same people. Now, what the pass will show is now you're going to get a much truer sense of who's the fastest, who's the strongest, what are they doing in heat, in traffic, going through the line of scrimmage. You can get a better sense of how that works. But they're still going up against the same people. There's still a threshold that you don't cross because that's your teammate. So you're not going to go as hard on him as you would against somebody else from another team. That's why the joint practices is paramount. You're going to have some winners and some losers tomorrow from your first day in the pads. And everybody's going to take that and they're going to go crazy with it. You got people keeping game level stats of camp. And it's like, that's too much. But I understand why they do what they got to do. But when you got the pads on, the only thing you really need to take advantage of is watch, if you can, watch the team drills. Watch the team drills. 7-on-7 is a little, because that's always a running back's advantage, 7-on-7. Ain't really much you can do. And all it takes is a couple of shakes to a linebacker, and then the ball's in the air. You catch it for a 5-yard gain around that. But even like, what routes are you going to run? Usually, if I'm a running back and I'm coming, we in 7-on-7, all I'm doing is an option route against the linebacker. So all I got to do is go up to the linebacker and shake him one way or the other. And it's on me which way to go. That's the option route. So there's not really much into it. Get open. Going to be a lot of wheel routes, seeing if skill positions, if the running backs and the X receivers coming out of motion can get around that corner, turn the corner, and burn by that defensive back. And can they get that? Can they hit that top speed before the safety comes over for help? That's the type of stuff they're trying to figure out. Who's the fastest? Who runs the best route? Because sometimes the guy that runs the best 40 time isn't the best route runner. He might only have track speed, and it doesn't translate on the field. So you can find out a lot of things about that. You're going to see who catch, who can't, catching traffic, all of that type of stuff. This is where you find out what you really want to find out. And then when you get to the joint practice, that's what you want to look out for. That's the one you really want to watch and take notes and see if you can get some film off of that. Because the joint practice is really going to tell you something. I don't follow any team with the final cut before the season starts count between now. I stand for the last 15. Yeah. See, My rule is this: you can't know what kind of team you got until week 4 or 5. So you got to play at least 3, 4 games. That's only fair. But everybody's gonna come up with these preseason rankings and all this kind of stuff, and it don't matter because at the end of the day, you got to wait till you get to week 4. Because by week 4, you will know what type of team you have. You'll know if y'all can tackle. You'll know if y'all can cover. You'll know if Jalen is playing well, if AJ is playing well. Is Saquon going to be the same? Is Jalen Carter going to have another good year? Is Cooper DeJean, should we move him or keep him in the slot? So you're going to be able to answer all of those questions based on what you see and how everybody's playing. And that's what you want. Iron sharp as iron. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. Started watching tape already. And I would encourage anybody, find a way to watch tape. Find a way to watch tape. Find a way to watch tape. That's where you learn about the game. Football is a chess match all the way through. It's all about matchups. And if I can get an advantage at a matchup, I'm going to burn you. So we'll see what he's going to do, man. We'll see what he's going to do. It's going to be what it's going to be. So, but I'm about to get up out of here, man. I had to get this off my chest, man. As usual, please, please, please smash that like and subscribe button. We building something here. Team is getting bigger. Got to get with Tone. He's been on vacation. Me and Tone are going to be coming at you with another day of content during the week. But we planning that out. We're trying to get it together. So hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody jumping in the chat. This was a nice conversation, man. Nice conversation. Do me a favor. Next time, bring a friend. Bring a friend. Get that link. Send it to them. Say, jump in the chat. I'm still trying to reach my goal. We hit 63 today. That was a good night for me. I want to see. Let me see. There we go. Let me see if I can do. Hold on. Let me see. Let me go here. I'm going to switch accounts. Can I switch accounts? No, it's not going to let me switch accounts. I thought I did this already. No, it's not going to do that. All right. I wanted to go into my analytics, but I am at, where are we at right now? I done lost my damn Twitter page. We are at 20. Hold on. We are at 2555. We are at 2555 right now. Subscribers. So we moving. Trying to get to 8,000 before the season starts. We got some work to do, but appreciate you guys joining me. About to get up out of here. Fly, Eagles, fly, and go Birds. You already know. So yeah, more and more Eagle stuff is coming. Like I said, next time bring a friend. I got to get that viewership up to. I'm trying to get above 100. Above 100. That's the goal. We got up to 64 today, which was phenomenal for me. So let's keep this thing moving. Let's keep it growing. And let's get ready for pads day. Put the pads on. We gonna see what it's gonna be. All right, we gonna see what we can see. So y'all have a good night. I appreciate everybody. Stizzy, Kent, Tiffany, Heather, 88s, King DV. Appreciate you, bro. Everybody in the chat, man. If I miss you, charge it to my head, not my heart. Candy, McDaniel, Quentin. Appreciate you. Alex, I appreciate you. Everybody in the chat, man. We making it grow. We be doing things, man. So I'm gonna be back tomorrow. Because I'll be itching to see what happened in camp. Who's gonna have the first fight? But I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Y'all have a good night. I appreciate y'all. Love you. God bless you. Be safe. And I'm gonna see you in the next one. Peace. Go Birds.